Over the weekend, RMU welcomed back alumni for the homecoming game, but they came back to some noticeable changes around campus. RMU Live's Morgan Torsha has the story on that, and the Pope stops in Cuba before making his historical debut in the United States, and last night's Emmys were some of the most well-received in years. We have all that and more coming up next on RMU Live.
Welcome back to RMU Live for Monday, September 21st, 2015. I'm Eddie Sheet.
And I'm Delaney Hassel. Here's what's happening now.
Now we have some breaking news right now coming out of Wilkinsburg High School. Students are being evacuated after reports of a female student pouring gasoline on a security guard. Now that's according to WPXI.
Parents and students are saying that the incident happened at check-in, but the acting superintendent refused to comment on those accusations. It would only say that the evacuation was due to a gasoline odor.
And over the weekend, RMU welcomed back alumni for the homecoming game against Notre Dame of Ohio. With more on the event and how those alumni felt about returning to their alma mater is RMU Live's Morgan Torsha.
It's an exciting day here at Robert Morris University as RMU is ready to compete in their homecoming football game. But it's not only the current students that are excited. A lot of alumni have returned to show that their school spirit has never died.
I'm an associate professor of nursing. I've been here since 2006. And I got my doctorate from here, but I teach undergrad psychiatric nursing and doctoral psych.
I played on the hockey team, so that's like probably the extent of my involvement, but I like to go to a lot of sports events, and I wish I could have been more involved, but like my time restraints kind of restricted that.
It's like, I can't believe this tailgate. I mean, we just didn't have any of this, and I'm so proud to be part of this, and to say this is my university, even though it's been so long, I still take a lot of pride in it. It's amazing. I love it.
As a faculty and alum, I can speak to both sides of it. I love the students. They're engaged. They want to learn. Robert Morris provides a wonderful learning university. I'm great to say that I can be both of those.
With the graduate programs, the engineering programs, it's just, I went to the accounting department. I turned out to be a CPA, but this turned out to be so much more than I ever started with.
Robert Morris University will be playing Notre Dame, Ohio, and all the students and alumni are really showing their school spirit for this game. Reporting from the Soul Lot, I'm Morgan Torsha, RMU Century Media.
And while most people were at that homecoming game, a few of us from RMU TV were actually in Philadelphia at the Mid-Atlantic Emmy Awards. We were nominated for last year's RMU SCJ election night coverage.
The third annual Warrior Mike 5K is being held this Saturday to benefit Mike Frazier, an RMU graduate who suffered a major spinal cord injury in a swimming accident 2 summers ago. Registration for the race is $10 for students and alumni. All proceeds from the 5K go toward the Mike Frazier Benefit Fund.
You'll have to excuse the construction outside. We actually have a story on that a little later. Now, on September 17th, native Pittsburgh entrepreneur Kevin Carter was at RMU to speak as part of the RMU Multicultural Student Services Diversity Speaker Series. Carter, who is the CEO of the nonprofit organization Adonai, talked about what it was like to set up his own nonprofit and encourage college students to, quote, learn from just about anybody you want to learn from as long as you're open to the concept of learning.
The Saudi National Day celebration being held Thursday will give students a chance to have a first-hand experience with the Saudi culture. The celebration includes food, dancing, a documentary, live shows, and exhibits. All members of the RMU community are invited to join in on the fun Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the Gus Kropp Gym.
For the past few weeks, we've brought you continuing coverage on the various construction projects happening around campus and actually right outside the studio right now. Here with an update on those changes is Morgan Torsha.
Over the summer, construction began here at Robert Morris University. Now as construction continues, students and faculty are being able to put some of those changes to use.
I think everybody knew that there needed to be a facelift to take place here in the Patrick Henry area. It was one of the oldest buildings on campus, and it essentially was an eyesore, and it needed a facelift. So I would imagine maybe a year or so ago, the architects got together and came up with a plan not only to enhance the media center area, but also Hopwood Auditorium and the library entrance. So construction began towards the end of last semester and went through the summer, and they worked primarily on the interior space to be ready for the fall semester with the students arriving. We took down all the old bricks, the dark brown bricks that were falling off anyway, and they replaced those bricks with the beige, the blonde bricks that come closer to matching the Nicholson Center. So I think the architect was looking for more of a unifying look of both those buildings, so they kind of tied together.
Construction will continue to take place throughout the semester. Reporting from Patrick Henry, I'm Morgan Torsha, RMU Century Media.
And we'll continue to keep you updated with all of the news surrounding campus construction as the semester progresses.
And for everything you need to know about RMU news, sports, and arts and entertainment, be sure to check out RMUCenturyMedia.com.
Now, coming up after the break, a look at how the Pope's visit to the United States is affecting cities like Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. in a big way.
And a recap of last night's eventful Emmy Awards. Stay tuned.
Looking for these? You drive Buzzed. Could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Pope Francis continues to travel around Cuba before he makes his way to the United States. CNN's Chris Cuomo reports.
Anticipation builds in the U.S. Pope Francis comes to the nation's capital Tuesday. He'll be the first pontiff to ever speak to Congress directly. While climate change and capitalism are expected talking points, some see his visit as a push toward fully lifting the U.S. trade embargo against Cuba. Controversial enough for one congressman to boycott.
I'm not sure if he's worried about alienating people. I mean, he'll be encouraging, but he speaks the truth.
Next, a trip to New York and the United Nations, where the growing refugee crisis is expected to be on the docket. Il Papa's visit will end in Philadelphia, where families will be his focus.
See you in Philadelphia.
The U.S. tour coming on the heels of his historic visit to Cuba over the weekend, at a time when the communist country is undergoing some change. Latin America's first pope, praising the two nations for normalizing relations. And the tens of thousands in Havana's Revolution Square Sunday, a message of hope and faith.
Hacernos cargos por amor.
Calling on Cubans to serve one another, not an ideology. Signs of underlying political tensions as anti-government protesters are arrested after approaching the Pope-mobile. Pope Francis meeting privately with former leader Fidel Castro to discuss the environment and global economy. Then later meeting once again with younger brother Raul Castro. Ahead of the Pope's visit, the U.S. announcing further loosening of travel and business restrictions with Cuba. But on the streets of Havana, some hopeful some doubtful that they'll ever see any positive impact on their lives. In the short run, I haven't seen any kind of change, says this man. Maybe later, but not yet. It's a necessary change that both countries need, this woman says. We need each other.
These cities have been awaiting the Pope's arrival for months now. Crowds are expected to be in the millions.
A little girl is home safe after a car was stolen with her still in it. The 2-year-old's father went into a 7-Eleven on Liberty Avenue around 11:30 last night and left the car running with the girl inside. Upon returning, the father's silver GMC Envoy was gone, along with his daughter. Luckily, the girl, however, was found unharmed on Stanwyck Street. Police are still looking for the missing vehicle as of this morning.
About 200 headstones were vandalized with red spray paint in Kiski Township over the weekend. The mayor said that he is offering the full cooperation of the police department and believes that this incident is connected with other recent acts of vandalism. The manager of the cemetery said, quote, that this is the worst thing that has ever happened here and that he is still not sure how to restore the headstones.
The brother of pro wrestler and former Olympian Kurt Angle has been charged in the death of a suburban Pittsburgh woman. Allegheny County homicide detectives say that 62-year-old David Angle was arguing with 57-year-old Donna Angle over a bottle of vodka. He dragged her off a couch, stepped on her chest, and pulled her arms before she fell unconscious. Angle remains jailed without bond in the Allegheny County Jail on a single count of criminal homicide.
Retired neurosurgeon and Republican presidential hopeful Ben Carson is making headlines today after saying that he does not believe the U.S. should elect a Muslim president. Carson said this on Sunday, NBC's Meet the Press, after Donald Trump took a question from a campaign rally attendee who said, quote, "We have a problem in this country. It's called Muslims," end quote. Carson asked whether a president's faith should matter to the voters. He also said he does not believe that Islam is consistent with the Constitution.
Alexis Tsipras will be sworn in as Greece's next prime minister today after the leftist Syriza party won back seats in the country's parliament. This is the second election win in 9 months for Tsipras, who says he will continue his work trying to repair the Greek economy and formulate a plan to repay creditors who loaned the country over $86 billion just a few months ago.
Last night marked the 67th Primetime Emmy Awards. Here's CNN's Mary Maloney with a quick breakdown of the night.
Stars shined at the 67th Annual Emmy Awards, and because of the hot LA temperatures, some even glistened. Inside host Andy Samberg gave everyone free HBO, and comedian Tracy Morgan walked on stage 15 months after surviving a crash that killed his friend.
I miss you guys so much.
Jon Hamm finally got an Emmy after 16 nominations. The Mad Men star even crawled up on stage to accept the award for Best Actor in a Drama. Viola Davis became the first black actress to win an award for lead in a drama. She won for How to Get Away with Murder.
The only thing that separates women of color from anyone else is opportunity.
Jeffrey Tambor won Best Actor in a Comedy for Transparent.
I'd like to dedicate my performance and this award to the transgender community.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus won Best Actor in a Comedy for Veep, which won for Best Comedy. And Game of Thrones took home the Emmy for Best Drama. On the big screen, Maze Runner: The Scorched Trials took the top spot at the box office. Black Mass came in at number 2, and The Visit rounded out the top 3. For Hollywood Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
Unfortunately, Andy Samberg's HBO login information does not work anymore because the account has too many devices. I don't know about you, Eddie, but I was pretty disappointed to find that out.
That's a really nice thing for Andy Samberg to do to everybody. If you haven't watched Game of Thrones, I think you absolutely should.
I'll be sure to check it out. Now, Ben, what's going on this week in Pittsburgh sports? I think he has some great stories for us, so be sure to stick around and we'll let you know about that.
is my handle and here is my spout.
When I get all steamed up, then I shout,
tip me over and pour me out. Oh. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Cheers. Take time to be a dad today.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Welcome back to RMU Live. Believe it or not, I am here in spite of my lack of a tease. I'm Ben Kelkus with the latest in sports. Prior to another exciting weekend in Pittsburgh sports, the Pirates suffered a loss on the field and in the locker room. While attempting to make a double play, Jung Ho Kang fractured his tibia and tore his MCL when base runner Chris Coughlin slid into him. Some say it was a dirty play, while others say it's just a necessary part of the game. The league may look deeper into the situation and could potentially make changes to the rules regarding sliding into the base. Jung Ho will miss the remainder of the season and postseason. The Bucks were able to struggle through the weekend without Kong, going 2-1 against the LA Dodgers. They begin a series with the Colorado Rockies tonight at 8:40. While Kong's injury may have put a salty taste in many fans' mouths, it wasn't all gloom and doom in Pittsburgh this weekend. On Sunday, the Steelers hosted their home opener against the San Francisco 49ers. Throughout the opening stages of the game, it looked as if Tomlin's team was continuing the undisciplined play as several flags were thrown against the black and gold. Once they were able to get past their slow start, Big Ben took charge and put up 29 first-half points, and the Steelers never looked back. While the secondary struggled in the fourth quarter, Pittsburgh routed the 49ers by a final score of 43-18. Roethlisberger finished with 369 passing yards with 3 touchdowns, while DeAngelo Williams tied a team record with 3 rushing scores. The Steelers will be traveling to St. Louis on Sunday, September 27th to play the Rams in preparation for the big Thursday night home showdown with the Baltimore Ravens. That's all the time we have for sports. I'm Ben Kelkus. Now here's Leah with the weather.
Thanks so much, Ben. We're looking to another beautiful start to the week today. It's going to be about 69, could creep up into the 70s, partly cloudy. Tonight's low going to get a little bit chilly at 51. And then tomorrow we're going to actually look at some warmer temperatures, jumps up to 77, almost a 10 whole degrees, mostly sunny. And then there's going to be a low of 50 tomorrow. So continue to stay chilly throughout the nights, but very warm during the days. Now for this week, it's still not going to feel like September. It's going to feel a lot warmer as we see temperatures continue to creep into the 80s. Wednesday, we're going to see 80, Thursday, 81, Friday, 80 as well. On the weekend, we're going to see upper 70s, but still really unseasonably warm for this time of year. This might be the warmest September on record. I'll be sure to let you guys know about that as we get closer to the end of the month. But, you know, as the weather continues, like I said, Wednesday, I should say, is the official start of fall, and we're going to see an 80-degree temperature. Very unusual, but hey, if you want to celebrate with your pumpkin spice lattes and other fall fare, then go right ahead. Delaney and Eddie, you guys looking forward to fall?
Absolutely, Lee. I don't know about you, Delaney, but a warmer weather, the longer the warmer weather's here, the better.
Nope, I totally disagree. I'm ready for sweaters. I'm ready for boots. I want fall to get here.
High of 70s all week for September.
Nope.
That sounds,
no, thank you.
No, that sounds amazing.
No, thank you. That's all the time that we have for RMU Live this afternoon.
We'll see you next week, and hopefully next week there won't be that construction going on.